1,097 applications in 3 days' time. That's how many were received for a vice president level role for an organization that I'm familiar with. This is insanity. The war for talent and trying to find a job, this entire space has become an absolute nightmare for people to navigate these days. Not just for the candidates that are trying to find a job, but for the companies and the hiring managers that are trying to find the best talent. What I see is a lot of companies are actually complaining there's no good talent out there. The reality is there is. There are plenty of incredibly talented people that are just chomping at the bit and ready to start working for a company and organization that actually knows what they're doing, where they can come in and create a significant and meaningful impact in the organization and have opportunities for career growth and progression. I want to talk specifically about what companies and hiring managers can do to make this process easier for them. I just talked about all these resumes that were flooded in for a vice president level role, and what we're seeing is the entire process is starting to shift. Because we have these applicant tracking systems that will parse through and sift through all of these different resumes and say, is this person suited for this particular job description? The thing that is becoming frustrating and challenging to contend with is now the applicants understand this. They are using AI to take the job description and then tailor their resume to fit the job description. So now you have AI on one end, AI on the other end, and it's all just like coming together and becoming an absolute nightmare to navigate through. So if you're a hiring manager, if you are in HR or recruiting, I've got some things that I want to share that could potentially be helpful for you. The very first thing that we all need to understand is trust is king. We have to start prioritizing referrals and warm intros over all of that noise that's coming through the application process. We need to lean into relationships instead of resume matching. Now, on a fundamental level, that seems kind of like a no duh. And I think a lot of times hiring managers and recruiters, they're grappling with the fact that, okay, well, who can I lean into? Who in my network would be a good fit for it? And we need to start thinking about second and third degree connections if your immediate sphere of contacts and connections isn't quite suited. What that might look like is picking up the phone to a fellow CIO. Hey, Rob, I'm looking for this type of a role. Do you know of anybody? And Rob's probably going to come back and say, you know what? Sally would be phenomenal for it. Let me make a warm intro for you. Yes, that takes a little bit of effort. I mean, yeah, you're going to have a 5-minute conversation with Rob, and then you're going to get a warm intro. And we need to shift our understanding of how to allocate energy and effort into hiring the right talent. Focus on quality over quantity. And if you trust Rob and Rob trusts Sally, all of a sudden there's this element of trust by proxy that exists. There is a high probability that this person will be a good fit because Rob is likely not going to put his name on somebody that wouldn't be a good fit. Lean into trust. Lean into your network, which is the second component that I want to dive into. Everyone's network counts. Not just Sean, the head of HR and IT's network, but have a conversation with Jonathan, the vice president of IT. Jonathan, do you know of anybody by chance that might be a good fit for this HR manager role? Again, we go back into the second and third degree connections so that we can establish some sense of trust and credibility through proxy. This is a good thing. we need to focus on also attending networking events. This topic is near and dear to my heart because I love attending networking events. But I've also come to realize an unfortunate truth in that a lot of executives, they're attending these events for their own ego. They're not really intentional about how can I build relationships with people at these events that could potentially support me and my team and the company's hiring efforts in the future. So when you are networking, don't just network for yourself. Focus on how can I attend this event to learn as much as possible, yes, for myself, but also create connections that are going to support my team, that are going to support my company. It can't just be about you. When you are working for a company, make sure that you are building a network to support the company as well. Also, when it comes to the whole referral piece of things, a lot of times companies have great employees that are constantly referring good employees into the organization. Why not reward them? If Joe over here refers in Ryan and Ryan ends up getting hired and being an absolute rock star, toss Joe a little bonus. He just saved you a tremendous amount of time and energy and money by not having to work with third-party external recruiters. And yeah, this can get kind of tricky in terms of tracking it and paying it out on the back end, but it is absolutely worth it. And then, bonus, Joe is also going to want to refer more good people into the organization. So think through how you can have some sort of small referral program where you can give people a little bit extra, incent them to do things like this. The last thing that I want to touch on, and most companies aren't truly aware of how painful they are making it for the hiring candidates, but we have to do everything we can to remove as much friction from the hiring process as possible. If you're hiring a manager and you run them through 10 different interviews over 8 to 9 weeks of time, they could be the perfect fit. Eventually, they're going to get fed up with having to interview over and over and over and over. And they're going to start to pick up on the fact that, well, wait a second, whenever I interviewed on the 6th time, they were asking me questions about how to solve this problem in their business, and I answered the questions, I'm helping them solve it, but I'm not getting paid for it. This is an absolute waste of my time. So then ask yourself, is your interview process that you've mapped out, because I know you have, too long-winded? Are you creating an inordinate amount of friction and frustration for hiring people in? And you tell yourself the story of, well, we've got to get the right fit. We've messed it up far too many times. We have to get the right fit. Well, you might have the right fit, and then they get fed up and say, it's not worth it. This is ridiculous. I don't want to work for a company with this much bloat and bureaucracy and inefficiency. Once again, driving away the best talent that you could potentially bring in to the organization. You have to respect the candidate's time. At the end of the day, you are going to have to build a strong relationship with these candidates so that they are a good fit for the team. Focus on establishing trust, leaning into your network, and then networks of people that are close to you and operating within the organization, and then stop making it so painful. You're not doing yourself or the company or the team or the candidates any favors. Obviously, you have to make sure you get the right fit, but I think it was Google, if I remember correctly, that had some sort of a study. Once you get past about 3 to 4 interviews, you start reaching this point of diminishing returns. If 3 to 4 people that are high performers on the team sign off on somebody, just get them in the door. That is how we get the best talent as quickly as possible.